Dearly beloved, we have gathered here today to get through this thing called Mix CD. My name is Mike, part of the SPDM crew, and I love making Mix CDs. Each week, we give our guests a theme and an 80-minute time limit for which songs they're going to pick for their Mix CD. This week, I'm going to be talking about songs that have a city in the title. And the reason why I'm doing that is because for the first time ever, I'm going to my first trade show in Vegas for work. Normally, for all my roles at work, I have been either behind the scenes or I've done inside sales. But this is the first time that I'm actually going to get a chance to go to a show, to work, to prospect, and to be part of the experience. So I thought it would be a fun exercise to go through songs that have a city in the title. And to narrow some of these down, it's got to be a city in the title, so no states. So you're not going to find any California girls. You're not going to find any Georgia on My Mind or anything like that. We're just talking about cities. And the only gray area one is New York, because New York could be a state, it could be a city as well. I tried to keep it to one song per city. There was a couple that I kind of agonized over trying to pick which one I would have, but I finally came to a decision. But I'm still going to shout out a couple of them. And here we go. So the first one, because I'm in Vegas, to do Viva Las Vegas by Elvis. That feels like that makes the most sense to do. I am a Chicago person through and through, so I picked Sweet Home Chicago by the Blues Brothers. There's a couple others, Frank Sinatra's got a song about Chicago. So it was pretty easy to pick Sweet Home Chicago by the Blues Brothers, but I also made sure not to pick any that specifically shouted out like a baseball team or like a sports team of some type. So like Bear Down Chicago Bears or Go Cubs Go that references Chicago as well. So it's got to be actually in the title. So one's going to come up later that, it's very prominently in the song, but it's not part of the title. So for New York, I picked Billy Joel's New York State of Mind. No nicknames in this case, so Empire State of Mind was out. I didn't pick New York by Frank Sinatra, and there's lots of other ones that involve the city of New York, so I picked Billy Joel. Boston, there was really between two different ones. There's Augustana's Boston, and then I picked I'm Shipping Up to Boston by the Dropkick Murphys. Next one, I picked Miami by Will Smith. The song is so stupid, but I love it so much. Shockingly, there are two Broadway songs that are about the city of Santa Fe. So you could pick the Rent version, which is about Santa Fe, but both us represent escapism of New York, escaping a big city and potentially having a small life, going to Santa Fe where you could have a big life in a small town, which is why I picked the Newsies version that seemed a little bit more kind of the spirit of what this represents, and it's a little bit more overt. I picked Streets of Philadelphia by Bruce Springsteen. Not a whole lot of songs that shout out Philadelphia, but I feel like this is the best one. And this is where I have the city of Detroit. Now, I do want to acknowledge and I understand that Don't Stop Believing does have Born and Raised in South Detroit. That's not what I'm doing here. So I picked Detroit Rock City by Kiss. I've got San Francisco. Be sure to wear. We got San Francisco by Scott McKenzie. I got Santa Monica by Everclear, the first of many Southern California songs that will be on this list. And this is where I start to get a little international as well. So I picked One Night in Bangkok by Murray Head. I picked the Tokyo Drift song by the Teriyaki Boys. It's kind of that main theme song. I picked London Bridge by Fergie. Yes, I do understand that I could have picked London Calling here, but I picked London Bridge because I just think it's a funny song. And then I picked Havana by Camila Cabello. The next set, I've got another two from Southern California. So I've got Beverly Hills by Weezer and Straight Outta Compton by NWA. Walking in Memphis by Mark Cohn. I could have picked the Lone Star version, but I ended up picking Walking in Memphis. No Sleep Till Brooklyn by the Beastie Boys, Good Morning Baltimore from Hairspray, and Harlem Shake by Bauer. I wanted to try to get that Austin song by Dasha in there, but it didn't make the cut barely for time purposes, so it's left off, but I still wanted to acknowledge that as well. As for what I would pick for the album cover for this, very easily just a globe, just something along those lines so that it could represent everything out there. Well, my friends, the time has come to end this episode of Mix CD. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website soon to be out at spdmcrew.com. You can follow our playlist on Spotify and Apple Music at Mike Hilty. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you have any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at HiFlyerCreative.com. If you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, no matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid because I know today has been the most perfect day I've ever seen.